In this video, we're going to see how you can customize your results page in Thrive Quiz Builder. So after you've created a quiz, you need to make sure that you select a type. We're going to select number in this case. Then we're going to choose a style. I'm going to select the first one. Now on the questions and answers page, I've set up 2 questions and each question has 3 answers. Now, if we go on and edit a question, we're going to see that each answer has a different number of points. Now, depending on what answer your user will choose, his final result will be calculated. So, for example, his minimum final results can be 2 points, because if he will choose the answer 1 from question 1, which has 1 point, and then he will go on to question 2, and also choose the first answer, which has 1 point, he will have 2 points. However, the maximum number he can achieve is 6 points, because if he chooses the answer 3 at both questions, he will have 3 points per question, and that will give him 6 points. Now, we need to remember this in order to use a feature in the results page that we're going to see in the next minutes. So once you've customized the questions and answers page, you can go on to the last step and customize your results page. So we're simply going to click on Manage on the results page card, and on this page we're going to click on this icon which says Edit Design. And right off the bat you will be given these 3 types of templates to choose from. The results neutral has no extra elements added to it. The results form has basically an opt-in form added to it and is focused on building your mailing list. So after your user will see his final results, he will have the possibility to subscribe on your mailing list through an opt-in form. And the results social adds the social share badge element into the results page, which is basically focused on getting your user to share his final results of the quiz on social media, and this way the popularity of your quiz can be increased. However, for this video we're going to choose the results neutral and move on to the next step. So this is the actual results page that your user will see after he has completed your quiz. And you can notice this code here which says results. This is basically the actual result of the quiz. So basically, if it is a number quiz, your user will see his actual score here. If it is a category, for example, he will see in which category he fits after he has taken the quiz. Now, all the elements are customizable. You can drag them and drop them inside the content and place them however you want. And apart from that, you can also use the editor on the right hand side to add extra elements. However, the elements we're looking for are found if we scroll down on the editor until we come across the Thrive Quiz Builder element. And if we select it, we're going to see that it has 2 new elements, which are the dynamic content and the social share badge. Now, we're going to start with the social share badge. We're going to drag it and drop it into the content. And we're going to see that we can choose a template for the social share badge. And these colors are actually the social share buttons, which are found right here. And for example, if we are going to choose this one, then we're going to see that the social share buttons are placed below exactly like they were displayed in the thumbnail. Now, in order to create the social share badge, you can simply click on it, and then you will click on this button in order to create it, or you can also create it from the quiz page. However, you're going to find a video tutorial on how to set it up, and that will walk you through the entire process. If you want to place your social share badge into the results page, you should choose the results social template that we have discussed before. For now, we're going to remove the social share badge, and we're going to move on to the next element, which is the dynamic content feature. So basically, the dynamic content feature allows us to display different types of content and different messages depending on the final result that our user has obtained. For example, if a user gets a score between 0 to 50, we can display a message that says, "You can do better, try again." And if another user scores between 50 to 100, we could say, "Congratulations, excellent work." Now let's drag and drop the element into the content and find out exactly how it works. Now once you've dropped it, this window will pop up on your screen, and basically this allows you to split your results into intervals. Now we can create a maximum of 5 intervals. Remember that the minimum result our user can score is 2 points and the maximum is 6 points. So if we add 5 intervals, then the first interval will represent 2 points, the next one 3 points, 4, 5 and the maximum of 6 points. However, if you have more possibilities, so if your user can score 80 on your test, for example, then you can add more intervals. This will be calculated in this window. For this tutorial, we're going to add 3 intervals and we're going to start editing the dynamic content. So now after you've edited the intervals, as you can see we've added 3 intervals, you're going to see the range that each interval stands for. So for example, the first one is applied to the users that have scored between 2 and 3 points. The next one is applied to the users that have scored 4 points, and the last one is applied to the users that have scored between 5 and 6 points. However, these points are customizable. For example, if you want, you can modify to apply the last interval only to the users that have scored 6 points, then click on apply. And as you can see, the last interval is now smaller because it only applies to a smaller range of users. However, in the same manner, you can modify the other intervals as well. And if you want to equalize them and bring them to the original state, you simply have to click on equalize sizes and then confirm by clicking on this button here. And now, as you can see, the intervals have been equalized. Now you can add different messages or different pieces of content to each interval, and the content will be different obviously from each interval to the other one. For example, we can add a text element and place it into the dynamic content right here, and then place a text that would say something like, "You can do better, try again." And this would apply only for the users that have scored between 2 or 3 points. For the next interval, as you can see, there is no dynamic content placed. We can add another text element and place it there, and then add some text that would say something like "well done," and then center this text. And this also applies to the users that have scored 4 points, and as well to the next one, the last interval. For the users that have scored between 5 and 6 points, we can add another text element, place it here, and we could add a text that would say "excellent work," since this is for the users that have scored the highest score on our quiz. And this way you have 3 types of messages for each interval in part, so for each category of users. Now, there's one more element that you could add into the content. For example, if we click on and edit, then we can click on this option that says insert dynamic result. And this result is basically the same one as here. However, maybe you want to add a more larger text and add the result into that text. This result is basically the actual score that your user got on his quiz. You can add that as well into the content in a very simple way. Now, for this tutorial, we've chosen a number quiz type. However, in the same manner, you can choose a percentage quiz type, and the plugin will calculate the number of intervals that are available for you to use. And you can also set up the range and set up the intervals in the same manner as we did here. However, if you choose the category quiz type and you add, let's say, 2 categories, introvert, extrovert, then the intervals that will be available to you are only the 2 intervals, and each interval represents a category, in this case introvert, extrovert, and you can basically build your dynamic content based only on the categories that you build. And basically this is everything you need to know in order to properly use the results page and the dynamic content feature in Thrive Quiz Builder.